Hello, newsletter openers. I wanted to make another video this time about our new unit, which is natural selection, just to kind of, again, give you an overview about what students are learning and then to kind of give you some jumping off points so that you understand natural selection a little bit better if students come home with questions or just so that you know what we're doing. So natural selection is essentially the process by which a population of organisms undergoes a change in their traits due to a change in their environment. So this unit, students are going to be looking at the phenomena of why are the elephants of Gorongosa National Park becoming tuskless. So to give a little background about essentially what students have seen is that there is a population of elephants in Gorongosa National Park, which is in Mozambique. And from 1977 to 1996-ish, there was a civil war where the population of elephants essentially went from 2,000 to almost zero. They were hunted for the ivory that was in their tusks. And so as the population of elephants has been rebounding over the last 30 years, they've noticed that the female elephants specifically do not have tusks. They are tuskless. And so what students are going to be looking at is why is the population now tuskless when in the 70s it was not. And so that's their jumping off phenomena. And essentially natural selection boils down to a few points. And one is that there is a population and that population has variation in their traits. So in this case, it's a very small variation. It's just essentially you have tusks or you don't. But there is variation in the population. And then they look at, well, what is going on in the environment. And so the second part of natural selection is that in order for natural selection to occur, there must be a change in the environment. And for the phenomena that students are learning, that change is obviously the poaching. So poachers come in, there's now a change in the environment. The third part is that one of the traits or a group of the traits, depending on essentially which organism you're looking at, there is an advantage to having one trait over the other. And in this case, not having tusks is the advantage because you are not poached. And then the last part is that whatever that trait is that is an advantageous trait, it must be passed down from parent to offspring. And so since tusklessness is an inherited trait, the elephants that are born of parents with no tusks also have no tusks. And so as you move through the generations, you are now seeing that elephants that do not have tusks are more common. This is a phenomena that is most recognized by the peppered moth scenario. If you Google the peppered moth scenario, it comes up. That has to do with the Industrial Revolution. And so students will look at that a little bit as well. Students will also look at the the finches on an island in the Galapagos where there was they saw natural selection essentially within a few years. So they'll look at data from that. Students do have their notebooks like they always do. They have their new unit. And so these stay in the classroom, but there's always opportunity for students to bring them home as long as they bring them back. This unit as well is everything being on Canvas. I'm linking homework assignments from Amplify that if students are struggling with concepts, they can always look at the homework assignments from Amplify that are linked to what we have done in class that day. Students do not use the Amplify platform in class. They either use their notebooks or they have lab notebooks as well that look like this that students will do all of their work in. But as always, I am here to help both you and students if there's something that comes across that you are confused about or students are confused about. I am always reachable by email.